Hey, what's up everybody? The score challenge is coming soon, and in this video, we're going to figure out which Tsum to use for Group A. So for Group A, we have the Child, Asuka Tano, and Mandalorian. Now, one thing I do want to call out though is I'm going to show you 3 different gameplays of the same Tsum, and then we'll try to figure out which Tsum is the best one. But there is one key component that is going to be a big variable for everybody, and that's the supporting Tsum. So supporting Tsums are the other Tsums that show up on top of your My Tsum. So I've noticed that a lot of the ones that I had for these gameplays for the Mandalorian, the supporting Tsums were not maxed out to level 50, whereas the supporting Tsum for the Child and Asuka Tano, they were both maxed out. So that's why some of the scores may not be the best representation of what these Tsums are capable of. And also, you may find a different strategy that works better for you. And you should really think about which Tsum you have at a higher skill level as well. So if you don't have all of these Tsums maxed out, you want to strategize on using the Tsum that you have at a higher skill level and then really focus on that particular Tsum. But let's say if you have some time to prepare for the event that's coming up here, there is a little bit of time to prepare and you want to get them to level 50 and also increase their skill level because you're really into the score challenge, then this video will help you prepare for that. And before we dive into the stats and everything, if you guys are enjoying this type of content where I review Tsums and just prepare you for the events that are coming up, then definitely subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button and you'll get notified when a new video goes up. That way you'll be on top of things when the Tsums are coming out, and you'll also get leak videos as well that will go into the next month. So I'll probably have a leak video in the next 5 days or so. We'll find out what we're going to have for the month of June. Anyways, back to these 3 Tsums. So I think out of these 3 Tsums, the Child and Mandalorian are the 2 Tsums that are very easy to use. Asuka Tano does require a little bit of strategy because you have to plan a little bit ahead, and some people play with the gyro on too. So if you're strategic with your slashes, you might actually get better scores than I did here. I'm playing all 3 of these game demonstrations without the gyro on. So you don't necessarily need gyro for the Child and Mandalorian, which makes them very easy Tsum to use. But honestly, Asuka Tano, you don't need to use gyro either really, and you'll be able to get a pretty decent score. So I am going to let these gameplays play out so that way you can see exactly what techniques I used and maybe even some of the areas where I could have improved on, so that way you could do it for yourself. But at the end of this first game demonstration, for Mandalorian, I ended up with a total of 9 million points after all the boosts and everything. And for the Child, I got 10.37. And for Asuka Tano, I ended up with 11.7. So for this first round of testing, Mandalorian came in last place, with the Child in second place, and Asuka Tano in first place. So that was the best result. Didn't earn me the most amount of coins with the coin boost, but Asuka Tano did end up with the highest score possible in this first game demonstration. So let's get into the second one. And by the way, if you want full tutorials for any of these Tsums here, I do have them on my channel, so feel free to go to my channel directly and then search out these Tsums. In those videos, I do in-depth analysis of all of these Tsums at different skill levels. So if you don't have these Tsums at skill level 6, which is these game demonstrations, you could take a look at the lower skill levels and see how I use them. For the most part, these 3, you'll be using the same techniques across all of the skill level. For Mandalorian and the Child, you really just want to spam the ability, so that way you get the overcharge effect and activate as many abilities as possible. I do really enjoy playing all 3 of these Tsums though, but if I were to have to pick one, I think Asuka Tano is my favorite to play because there is a little bit of strategy to it, but it's very satisfying watching the Child's ability. All of the Tsums will get lifted from the screen and then gets removed, so I really like that one. And for these game demonstrations for the second round, Mandalorian ended up with 9.2 million points. And for the Child, I got 10.37 million. And for Asuka Tano, I ended up with 12.1 million. So Asuka Tano ended up with another point in terms of which Tsum to use. And then for the third game demonstration, for Mandalorian, I ended up with 10 million. For the Child, I got 10.78 million. And for Asuka Tano, I ended up with 13.2 million. So all 3 of these gameplay point towards using Asuka Tano is the way to go. Let me know in the comments below if you're experiencing something different when the game releases, but I'm definitely going to be practicing Asuka Tano a little bit more, so that way when the score challenges come up, I'll be able to get a high score right away. And really, you don't necessarily need to be on the very top of the chart, which it's nice, but as long as you make it into the S class, you're going to get all of the prizes in there. I'm really planning to get the pins as well as all of the little boosts that comes with it. I'm hoping that there's going to be some level tickets in there and maybe even a skill ticket. So it's definitely good to start preparing your Tsum. For Group A, Asuka Tano is the way to go. But if you don't have Asuka Tano, number 2 would be the child. And then if you don't, unfortunately, then you're going to have to use Mandalorian. And you may want to level up some of the sub-Tsums as well. So if you have Mandalorian at level 50 already, or all of these My Tsums at level 50, then you may want to just start preparing those sub-Tsums or supporting Tsums, so that way they can help you get a higher score as well. So I'm going to leave all 3 of the game demonstrations in here, so that way you can review it for yourself and then see if there's anything that maybe I might have missed. But I hope that you guys found this video helpful in figuring out which Tsum to prepare for. And if you guys would like to see more Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.